Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? KNB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for C Plus Studios and a Paper Saber universe. This is the New World Podcast, brother. All right, let's just jump right on in, shall we? NXT, April 4th, 2023. They're back in Orlando. Booker T, Vic Joseph on commentary. The NXT after a big pay-per-view, Stand and Deliver. I gotta say, this was pretty fun. This was a good show. This was a show that I feel like was a little bit better than Raw. And, you know, I see the complaints out there. I read them about, you know, this feels like Vince is all this and that, you know, and Vince is going to do what Vince does. He's Vince, you know. So I was wondering how NXT might be affected. So far, nothing. I saw some little memes of like NXT 3.0 or something like that. I don't think that's going to happen. I hope not, knock on wood, because they got some stuff here that's brewing that I'm really digging, especially with this show. And I feel like this brand should just be left alone, you know, like don't. And I found out Level Up is still a thing. I was curious too, because I remember that and that was created with that terrible looking logo. But it's NXT Level Up is still a thing, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm not gonna watch that because I have so much on my plate right now with wrestling. If I can squeeze it in some way somehow, I will try to. It looks like we got some talent coming up, maybe that were on NXT Level Up, but they're slated to come to NXT soon. So we start the show with Alicia Taylor introducing Indy Hartwell, our new NXT Women's Champion, getting a bunch of love, getting a bunch of praise that she deserves. You know, then Zoe Starks interrupts, and she's like, hey, you're going to have the shortest title reign, which sets up them having a title match later on in the evening. I really like Zoe Starks. I like, you know, that. I like she's really aggressive. Like she's a mean thing. But it's really cool seeing Indy Hartwell get her due and get that love, and that crowd just gave her the love, you know. So here now we're in the Hartwell era of the NXT Women's Champion. You know, so there we go. Big, and you got to go check out that ladder match from Stand and Deliver. That ladder match was crazy awesome. We had a thing with the airport, Wesley and Axiom. They set up a match for later on tonight for the North American Championship. Axiom, like this dude is just, this is crazy. This is crazy. The fact we got him and we got Dragon Lee, and Dragon Lee making his TV debut tonight. Life is good. Life is good. They had a JC Jane in her promo. You know, she's here to break Gigi's will. So we're going to get more on that because she interrupted the ladder match at Stand and Deliver. So JC Jane's on the prowl and hunt for Gigi. Dijak. Got them Sin City vibes, you know? He's really got the Sin... Oh, wait, I just skipped the match. Oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry. Tony D'Angelo and Stax, Channing Lorenzo versus Pretty Deadly. They had a little backstage thing during Stand and Deliver, and pretty much setting up this match. I love Pretty Deadly, you know? I love their Stand and Deliver hand pose, you know? And Pretty Deadly got the win, and such a clever finish. They took the buckle padding off the ring right in the corner and had the metal exposed. And I was like, I wonder, okay, how are they going to do this? And they cover each other. They use the apron to cover one's face, and the other one comes from behind. But it was just so great. I think it was Tony that was going for and grabbed him, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm not the legal man. And then boom, right into the post he goes, and up for the win. Pretty Deadly. I even wrote here, that was a clever finish, and I really did like it. This was a good tag team match, and I'm very sorry that I just skipped right over it. I think it's just because I was excited to talk about Dijak, and Dijak took on Odyssey Jones. Dijak for the win. He's got the Sin City vibe thing going, especially the entrance, the black and white background with the rain and stuff like that. Dijak, he's pissed off, so now we have to worry about his reckoning. And I've been following Dijak for a long time, especially back when he was in Ring of Honor. And I remember when he moved up when he got to WWE, they just didn't really know what to do with him. And now that I see that he's got more of a serious character, he's got this crazy looking Sin City vibes going. He's got a great entrance, a great look. He's not wearing a stupid mask. He's Dijak. So I'm excited to see where we go more with him. And I would like to see him advance at some point and get a real shot at being a Top Gun wrestler here at NXT. So a great match though. This was fun. Odyssey Jones tried, but he couldn't do it. Dragon Lee package. We're excited. This match is coming up later with Nathan Frazier. Him has arrived in style with Trick Williams in a beautiful car outside, just so we can set up for what's going to happen at the end of the night. Gallus backstage interview. The Gallus boys are back together. They talking about adding more gold to the stable and everything like that. So that was really cool. We had Nathan Frazier versus Dragon Lee, and Supernova Noam Dar brought his NXT Heritage Cup. I forgot about the NXT Heritage Cup. But Dragon Lee making his TV debut. Dragon Lee for the win. This was a fun little match, but it wasn't about that. Dragon Lee, though, looking great. I think Dragon Lee is going to be a really solid addition to this roster, and making his big debut at a pay-per-view, is pretty cool. And this whole Noam Dar, the Supernova, this NXT Heritage Cup, we'll see how that goes, because that was from the UK days. RIP UK NXT. Chase University celebrating their big and they beat Schism. They got some stuff next week that's going to happen next week, but they had a big celebration. And what's funny too is, like, the more as I'm watching, I dig into these rabbit holes of, like, okay, let me learn more about this Chase University, and this little backstage segment was pretty fun, but I want to learn more about them as we go. That's just how it is. I want to make sure that I have my knowledge of Chase University and where we're going to go to next. Where is Schism? Schism going to come back and attack? We shall see. Breaking news, NXT Battleground is May 28th. Why does that date sound familiar? Who? That is the same day as AEW's Double or Nothing. Because as soon as they announced it, like, NXT Battleground, I was like, ooh, baby, now they're using the main roster titles. Okay, Battleground, I like it. Okay, I looked at the date, I was like, hold on a moment. And I went over to my calendar, lifted up in big old letters as AEW Double or Nothing on my calendar. And I'm just like, well, that's, do I choose NXT Battleground, or do I choose AEW's Double or Nothing to watch? Which one to watch first? I was just like, interesting. I could just watch one after another, but now that I'm in the fold of NXT and I'm going to be following this all the way up to that big pay-per-view, I might be like, shit, it's so hard to choose between the two, because we really haven't been building for Double or Nothing, but we're going to be building here for Battleground because we're in a new era now after the big WrestleMania weekend. So it's just like, damn, I got to choose. I probably more than likely will watch AEW first, because one, yes, I do pay for Peacock, but I also paying for a pay-per-view that's like $50. That's where my eyes are going to go first. I know I can rewatch it when I want, but I want to be there live with AEW's show, but I will watch NXT Battleground after. I just found that a little amusing that it's going to be on May 28th, same day. Zoe Stark versus Indy Hartwell for the NXT Women's Championship, Indy's first defense with that title. Great stuff here, man. Zoe Stark really brought to the table. Had a really nice finish that I really thought was cool. It was a little roll up, 1, 2, 3. Then it makes Zoe look weak. at all. Made her look strong like bull, but she just got a little bit of the upper hand from Indy Hartwell. So I am excited to see where we're gonna go with Indy, because there's a few things that were. Yeah, it's going to be nice to see where we go with Indy Hartwell. You know, Roxanne Perez, nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen. So maybe she's going to get called up to the main roster. We shall see, because we're still in the swing of things, and anything can happen. And SmackDown is this Friday, so hopefully we get to see some people move up from the NXT roster to the main roster, and we get some new, fresh storylines going. Tiffany Stratton came out after the win. But the big one was Cora Jade returns, attacks Indy Hartwell, takes her championship, puts it up in the air and everything like that. There's a backstage thing with, I forgot, Cora Jade was outside. You know, she's back, she's here, she's going to talk next week. So more storylines to be built. I would like to see Cora and Indy tear it up in that ring. I don't know where Tiffany Stratton fits in that narrative of this storyline. Is she going to be part of it, because she came out first? So we shall see. Ivy Nile versus Tatum Paxley. Ivy for the win. I like Ivy. Diamond Mine. Creed Brothers came out to join her win and stuff like that. And this was a fun little match. This was a nice little tussle back and forth between these two. And they got a solid women's division. I'm telling you, like, it's crazy across the board, the women's division and like all of pro wrestling. And these women, they bring it hardcore. And Ivy Niles, somebody that I would like to see on the main roster. And there's a few dream matches I got there that I would like to see her tussle with in the main roster. So because Diamond Mine's been around for a bit, so I don't know how much longer we're gonna ride that wave. Dragunov backstage interview. Von Wagner interrupts. And, Dragunov's mad because he didn't win his match at Stand and Deliver, but Von Wagner interrupts, and, Dragunov's like, yeah, well, you didn't even get invited to Stand and Deliver, didn't you? So Von Wagner's like, you don't need an invite to fight me. And I was like, I thought it was pretty funny, but Mr. Stone came out of nowhere. He's like, hey, why are you picking a fight with Dragunov, huh? Why are you picking a fight with him? You shouldn't do that, so... But he tells Von Wagner, Mr. Stone tells him, says, if you lose this match next week, we're done. And so more digging there, more of their relationship and how it's been going in NXT, because I barely started following from last week's show to Stand and Deliver. And that's why I kind of like this. It's kind of like a refresh. Now we're taking new stories and moving things around, and now we're going to build to the next pay-per-view. It's like I've always said it like this. It's like comic books. They always have a part where you can jump in and you can start it, and you'll have little inserts at the bottom that says when Batman's like, when I put Kryptonite up Man of Steel's ass, see issue 00542, to see what happened. That's the way things go in the comic book world, and that's why I like here. And there's some references that the commentary will catch you up on, like, oh, did you remember? Huh? You remember this? Also, R.I.P. Bushwhacker Butch Miller, a legend, of course. Much love and respect to the family. We posted up on Instagram the passing and said R.I.P. and our condolences to everybody. That's just crazy. It's just always a reminder that you never know what happens, and then when somebody passes away from this business, it hurts a little, So, R.I.P. to Butch Miller, Bushwhacker. All right. Now, the North American Championship, Axiom versus Wesley. This was a match. This was a good match between these two. Wesley for the win, and. There was this thing that happened afterwards. It was like this Y was up there. I guess Scripps is playing with Axiom. But Wesley showed some love to him. This was a good match. This was a fun back and forth tussle between these two talents right here. And I want to see more of Wesley. What's next for Wesley in that North American Championship? Axiom, I want to see more of Axiom. I want to see Axiom and Dragon Lee go tear it up one-on-one. But no, Axiom is going to try to expose this person that tried to attack Scripps. And I was like, Scripps? Who the fuck is Scripps? And so I did a little more digging on that. I was like, oh, Reginald. Reggie, my boy. Reggie. Ah, okay. okay, you know, I because he came out like boom and Axiom kicked him in the face and went down. He's like, I'll expose you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, who the fuck is this Scripps person? And then I went and did my digging, and I was like, oh, it's Reginald. That's where you've been. Pinky's up there. Pinky's up. So that's going to be cool. You know, Reggie, I like Reggie. I like Reginald. I really did enjoy every time he was on the screen on the main roster, you know. But, you know, it has to happen. This is what happens in professional wrestling. You can't get a character over to a certain point. Then they're just like, okay, reset button. Here you go. Now you're Scripps. You got a mask on. You got these great acrobatics. So here you go. Nathan Frazier backstage interview talking about some revolutions in his head. You know, he's got to keep moving forward and stuff like that. We had this was right here, the next one coming to NXT. Tank Ledger, Danny Palmer, Oba Fem. I hope I got that right. These three are coming to NXT very, very soon. All right. So in the big tag match, the women's tag team titles are on the line next week. That's what it was. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire had a little celebration thing going on. It was earlier in the show. Now, folks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the meats and potatoes. We did the meats and potatoes of the show. Carmelo Hayes. The era of him has started. It's a mellowbration. Carmelo's here with Trick Williams. So, you know, our new NXT champion. He says some words, says thank you, this and that. I think we're going babyface with Carmelo Hayes, which is cool because he calls out Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker says, I was just showing you respect like Ciampa did with me. I felt like I should give it back. So that's what I'm doing. And that's what I did at Stand and Deliver. That's why I gave you the respect that you deserve. But afterwards, Carmelo's like, oh, thank you, this and that. And he tries to pull up his hand. And Braun Breaker turns. Is this a heel turn? You know, it just lays Trick out, lays Carmelo out, and is just standing there laughing. And no, but what's funny though is that crowd really wasn't like boo. They were more like do it again. So on to next week. I'm invested. I want to see what's going to happen with Carmelo and Braun. Are we going to get one more match? And is that going to be at Battleground? And will this feud end at Battleground, May 28th? All right, y'all. I give this show a solid 4.5 out of 5. It was fun. I had fun. It's just nice to have more wrestling now than ever, you know, and but it's also too a curse because I have other things that I really love and interested in. I finally caught up on some Bad Batch, which made me feel good. So but I do this for y'all. I do this for y'all, and I do this for me and my love of this business. Tell me what you thought of the show. What did you like? What did you not like? Where do you think certain storylines are going to be going? All the way up to Battleground next month. Drop those comments. Then go get yourself some New World Podcast merch. And like I said on the last podcast, I'm working on getting a Pro Wrestling Tees NWP store on Pro Wrestling Tees, so that's where in the making. So it's gonna be pure NWP designs and stuff like that. So that's still on the horizon. Go to their T Public store, get whatever you can. Everything and anything helps. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and as always, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.